WhyGuru Ji Ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji Ki Fateh. So welcome everyone to week 21 of the Japji Sahib course. Today we're going to go through Baudi number 19. So we are officially halfway through all the Baudiya, the 38 Baudiya. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but time has certainly flown, in my opinion anyway. So as usual, let's kick off with the Mool Mantar and let's do all this together, Ji. Ik oankar Satnam Karta Purkh Nirbhau Nirvair Akal Murਤ Ajuni Saipang Gur Prasad Jap Ad Sach Jugad Sach Hai Pi Sach Nanak Hosi Pi Sach Ad Sach Jugad Sach Hai Pi Sach Nanak Hosi Pi Sach WhyGuru Ji Ka Khalsa WhyGuru Ji Ki Fateh. Okay, so last week Bibi Simran Kaur took us through Baudi number 18, and it's quite, if you look at the words, some of the key words from that Baudi, Maharaj talks about a nindak, a slanderer, a papi, right? They talk about sinners, different thieves, people of power, murderers, right? That Baudi was all about the negative traits that we as humans can take on, right? And throughout Japji Sahib so far, certainly in the talks, there's been a few like recurring themes, and I think negative actions and positive actions has been a recurring theme. And another one is also meditation as well. It's quite an obvious recurring theme. But another one, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but almost every week, nature comes into it somehow. Whether it's about plants or animals, the behavior of animals, somehow we always seem to be talking about nature, right? And this week's not going to be any different. So we're going to kick off by talking about the different discoveries we make in this world. So the year's 2023, we as humans like to think we are quite technologically advanced, that we know a lot about the world and nature, right? But last year, in 2022, how many new discoveries of animals do you guys think were made? Like official discoveries, how many? What do you guys think? Any guesses? What are we thinking, in the hundreds? Yes, bro. 8,000. Okay, not that high. Not that high. We actually made 351. All right, 351. Close. So that's almost one a day, right? So we're still learning so much, even about the animals that are on our planet. So I want you guys to think about what we do when we find these animals. So I'm just going to talk you through some of the ones they found last year. So this beetle is called an Autocrates linni, and it's a giant beetle found in China. Okay, they found that last year. And this was really cool. I like this one. So this is a really minute type of wasp. And just on wasps alone, they found 85 different species of just wasps. All right, this one is really cool. So when we find new discoveries, what do we tend to do with them? As human beings, when we find something new, a new animal, what do we do? What's one of the first things we do to that animal? Any guesses? You give them a name, yes. That's absolutely right. We give them a name, right? We give them an identity. We categorize them. So this cool-looking fella here is called a leafy sea dragon. Right? It's quite a cool name, and it makes sense for it to be called a leafy sea dragon. It's got some cool seaweed-type vibes going on there, right? So leafy sea dragon. Now, the name of this animal, this was a species of gorilla they found, right? So it's got like a patch of brown on its head. It's got some like white hairs on it as well. Does anyone want to guess as to what species they called this gorilla? No, not Gurjadan Singh. They actually called it gorilla, right? Literally, the name for this species of gorilla is the same word 3 times, right? Very creative. So now we get on to a mountain chicken. And I know what you guys are thinking. Okay, this is going to be some cool looking chicken, right? But actually, a mountain chicken is a frog, a Caribbean frog, right? So the point is that whenever we find something, we name it, right? To categorize it. You are this, I'm calling you this, so therefore you are this. And the Siddhs actually asked Guru Nanak Dev Ji this question. They said, this one you keep talking about, what's their name? What's the name of this one? And Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, Asankha Nav. That countless are their names of that one. All right, the one has countless names. So if we look at Siddhi Japji, for example, Bani written by Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. In Japji, Maharaj says, Twet Sarbanam Kathe Kavan. They say, how can I describe all of your names? It's impossible. But they say, Karamanam Baranata Sumate. Right? I can describe your Karamnam, right? Your qualities. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji does. They go on to talk about how God is a Karamang. They say, Namastang a Karamang. Right? So they say, oh, WhyGuru Ji, you've got no name, but you are a Karamang. Everything you do is not recorded. Right? A Karamang. They go on to say, Namastang a Taramang. So there's loads of Dharams in this world, loads of different religions, but the one themselves has no Dharam. Right? So WhyGuru Ji is not Sikh. They're not Christian, nor are they Muslim. Okay? They are a Dharamang. But then they also say, Namastang, Nitnem. That one has no name. So they're describing all of these qualities, and one of their qualities is that they actually have no name. Now, Guru Nanak Dev Ji go on after that, and they talk about the places. They say, Asankha Nava, Asankha Tav. That countless other places made by the one. So if the one made everything, if we think of all the countries we've ever been to, this country, the one's made it all, so the one is there. And they are countless in that respect, right? There's so many places made by that one. And not only are these places worldly, but Maharaj goes on to say that these places are actually unknowable. They say, Agam, Asankha Law. That it is literally unknowable. They repeat this word twice. Agam, Asankha Law. It is unknowable to know all the countless realms. So, for example, scientists say that the universe we're in, it's ever expanding, right? It's always changing. There's always something new. And it makes sense, right? How can we know something that's always expanding? How do we know? We're just a tiny little blip in this massive universe. Who knows how many more universes there are out there, right? And then Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they go on to say, Asankha Gahe Sir Par Hoye. That countless are those who say the greatness of the one. And after saying it, they become pure. So we've looked at the example of Sajjan Thug, who was a murderer and a thief, right? But he put on this bravado as if he was really holy. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji actually blessed Sajjan Thug with Naam, and he actually turned into a saint. Another quick example is Balamik Ji. So Balamik, again, was a thief and a murderer. And when he tried to rob these saints, they asked him who he was robbing for. Who are you stealing for? They asked Balamik Ji. And he said, I'm stealing for my family. And they said, okay, that's fine, but are your family really going to go with you all the way? Even when you die, are they still going to be there? And then Balamik Ji finds out that no, my family's only going to go so far with me. So they go back to the saints and they say, save me. Give me something that's going to save me. So they give Balamik. Does anyone know what mantra they gave Balamik? Yes, Seva. Yes, Mara. And after saying Mara, what word come out of that? Ram. Yeah? A word of God. A name of the one. So by saying that, over the course of 12 years, Balamik Ji went from being the worst of the worst to one of the best. He became a saint. Okay. So now Maharaj says, Akri Naam, Akri Salaha, Akri Gyan Geet Gun Gaha. So let's break this down together. What does Akri mean? Who's heard of that word before? Akri. What does that Anji means? A word? Does it mean a word? What's smaller than a word? Yes, letter, akar, right? It's a letter. So we've got letter, na means name. Letter again, akri salaha. What's a salaha? He doesn't play for Liverpool. Hanji, bro. Praise, yes. Yes, praise. So, Akri Naam, Akri Salaha, Akri Gyan, and Geet Gun Gaha. So, Maharaj here is talking about letters. So, they say everything we do with regards to the name of the one, the praise of the one, right? Knowing, knowledge, and virtues, even singing, none of that is possible without Akri, without letters. So, a quick Sakhi here about Guru Nanak Dev Ji. When they were 7 years old, they were sent to school, and the teacher, Pandit Gopal Ji, were teaching the class all the letters. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they stopped their teacher and they say, "You're telling us all of these letters, but what do they mean?" Right? Think about it. What does a letter mean? And the teacher looks at Guru Nanak Dev Ji and says, "They're just letters. They don't actually mean anything." And Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, "No, you're wrong." Right? Imagine, this is at 7 years old, Guru Nanak Dev Ji starts going through each and every letter and giving the most deepest Sikhya behind it. So they get to the letter Dadda, just as an example. And they say, "Dadde dosna deo kise, dosa karamma apniya." Saying that don't blame anyone else. Right? It's everything that's happening to us is a result of our own actions. Right? Our own karma. Then they go on to say, "Jo main kiya, so main paya." Whatever I've did, that's what I'm reaping now. "Jo main kiya, so main paya, dos na dije avarjana." Don't blame anyone else. Imagine all of that just from one letter, Dadda. Then, for example, they get to Yeya, and they say, "Yeya, janamana hove kadi, je kar sach pachane." So they say that that person is never born again. They complete this journey of 8.4 million lives if they are Gurmukhi Akhe, Gurmukhi Bujje. Right? As a Gurmukh. So someone who follows their Guru is a Gurmukh. So as a Gurmukh, Gurmukhi Akhe, Gurmukhi Bujje, Gurmukhi Eko Jane. Right? So they speak. Anyone know what a Gurmukh would speak? What would a Gurmukh speak? Someone who follows their Guru, what do they speak? What comes out of their mouth? Seva Singh? Yes, Gurmukhi, Gurbani. Yes, that's right. So, does anyone know who formalized Gurmukhi? So Guru Nanak Dev Ji's gone through all of the letters, but who formalized it? Who set it up into the system it is today? Hanji, Guru Angad Dev Ji. Yes, that's right, our second Guru, Guru Angad Dev Ji. Now, if we look at the script for a second, I haven't got time to go through everything, but it's really simple and easy to follow. And for me to say that, trust me, it must be easy. So towards the beginning of the script, the sounds come from the back of our mouth. So you've got letters like kakka, kakka, gagga, right? It's all coming from the back of the mouth. But then as you go down, you get letters like papa, mama, right? They're all made from the mouth. So as you go down the Gurmukhi letters, the sound moves through your mouth. And the letter we're just going to focus on today is Babba. Right? So Babba is a combination of Papa and Babba, a P and a B. Now what makes Babba special is that when you combine those letters, you have to say it with emphasis. Right? It's a heavy letter. Babba. Babba. Should we try to say it together? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Babba. Right? Babba, yeah. Now it's really important we learn this Gurmukhi. Really, really important. So one of the reasons why is if we just go back to this line here, Maharaj is talking about bar. And the word bar starts with a babba. Now if we look at the transliteration, they've written it in English as B-H-A-A-R. Bar. Right? Now, if we rely on the transliteration, we're missing the actual pronunciation. We're actually saying, we're changing the meaning of the word completely. Right? Bar actually means pure or weight. When we say bar, it's like we're changing it. It's not right. So a really good reason as to why we need to learn Gurmukhi is that it's more complex. There's more layers to it than the English alphabet. So we can't rely on an English alphabet to read Bani. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji goes on, they're still talking about letters here, and they say, Akri likhana bolana ban, that it's through letters that we write and that we speak, what? Ban. Bani, Gurbani. Right? They're saying letters are so important. So, just another point here. Maharaj says, Bani Guru, Guru hai Bani. Vich Bani Amrita Sare. So they're saying that Bani is your Guru, then they flip it and say Guru is Bani. Bani Guru, Guru hai Bani, Vich Bani Amrita Sare. There's so much in Bani that if we're relying on English letters to say it, we're missing out. We're literally missing out on connecting with our Guru, who is Bani. Right? So, if we take this word Amrit, right, it's just come up. Does anyone know what Amrit means? Some of your names might be Amrit, or you might know someone called Amrit, but does anyone know what it means? What does Amrit mean, guys? Any guesses? Gagan Singh? Nice and loud, bro. Come on. Immortal, yes. Immortal, the drink of immortality could mean purity, right? Our Guru's blessing, that thing that makes us complete this cycle of birth and death that we're on. It's such a deep word, right? But when they translate it, if you go back here, apps like Sikhi to the Max and Gurbani, and I'm not cussing them when I say this, they translate it as ambrosial nectar. Does anyone know what ambrosial nectar means? I didn't up until yesterday. So ambrosial means something that tastes or smells good, and nectar is a sweet liquid that bees use to make honey. So you've got Amrit, the drink of immortality, that which saves us, that which joins us to the one, and then it's been translated as ambrosial nectar. And we can see why they've done it, because it's such a deep concept. It's really hard to put all of that definition into a translation, right? So the point being that when we rely on the translation, we lose so much. That's why learning Gurmukhi is so important. Another reason is that we lose the poetry. So Gurbani, as you guys probably know, is written in poetry. So Akri Naam, Akri Salah, Akri Gyan, Geet Gun Gah. Right? There's poetry. It sounds nice when you're saying it. But if we rely on the translation, it's let us name, let us praise, let us knowledge, praise, virtue, sing, right? We lose all of that. So it's like Maharaj has given us this gift. Our Guru is poetry, and we're kind of sidestepping it sometimes. And the final reason, I promise this is the final reason now, I know I'm joining on, but the final reason is that our Guru told us to. Okay, so Guru Gobind Singh Ji wrote 52 hukams, 52 commands for their Khalsa, for their Sikhs, right? And they say that in one of their hukams, they say that a Sikh should learn the essence of Gurbani. They should learn Gurbani from a learned Sikh, right? So they say we should do this. Now, when it comes to receiving vidya, when it comes to receiving knowledge, there's three ways in which we can receive that vidya. So when someone's teaching us, they become our ustad, right? A teacher. Now we can either pay that ustad for what they're teaching us, or we can do their seva, right? We can help them out, or we can give them some vidya back. And just a quick example on this, a personal one. I've been blessed with Maharaj's Kirpa to do talks with basics now for a number of years. So there's a few tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. And I'm now with Maharaj's Kirpa in a position where I can help others with their talks and their presentations. So for example, with Bhai Gurcharan Singh, he's a great speaker. And every now and then I give him just a few pointers just to help him out. But Bhai Gurcharan Singh teaches me Santhya. He teaches me how to read Gurbani, right? So it's a prime example of when we receive that vidya. In this case, it's a two-way street. He's teaching me and I'm helping him. And I think it's a key point to make, because ultimately we've all got something to give, right? And I know we might feel like we're useless sometimes. I definitely get that feeling. But every single one of us has got something to give. Something. No matter how big or small we think it is, we've got something to give. And it's really up to us to find out what that is. So, for example, when we listen to a hukamnama, if that Sevadar didn't bother learning Gurmukhi and Gurbani, if they didn't take their Santya, that Seva would never happen, right? The Kirtanis today that were doing Simran were different from the ones we had before. So if they didn't think, okay, let me learn how to play a Vajja, let me learn how to do Simran, then that Seva would never have happened, right? So the question really is, what have we got to give? Obviously, this is all Maharaj's Kirpa, right? It's all their blessing. But it really is up to us as individuals to find out what it is that we can give. And at the very minimum, the thing that underpins everything is learning to read Gurbani. Okay? Okay, so we're going to carry on. So Maharaj finishes off talking about letters, and they say, Akra Sir Sanjog Vakan. So they say that it's through letters that the Sanjog, the destiny is written in letters on our foreheads. Okay? So the Siddhs now ask Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they say that, okay, that's fine that we've got destiny, but has God got a destiny? Have they got anything written on their forehead? What do you guys think? Let's have a show of hands. Put your hands up if you think yes, God has a destiny. Or keep your hands down if you think no. Okay. Either everyone's half asleep or everyone's really clever. So we're going to go with really clever. Okay, so the one has no destiny. Okay, the one has nothing written on their head. Now Maharaj goes on to say, Jin ehe likhe dis sir nahe. Right, the one that writes everyone's destiny has no destiny. They created the concept of a destiny. So if we take it back to the Mool Mantar, right? When we talk about destiny, it's something that's going to happen. But the one is Ad Sach, Jugad Sach, Hai Pi Sach, Nanaka, Hosi Pi Sach. They are outside of time. So they can't have a destiny in that respect. Amara says, Ape Patti Kalam Aap Likhna Hara Hua. That the one is the paper, the one is the pen. So everything that happens, everything that's happening to us is designed by the one. And the Siddhs say, well, what about Brahma? Isn't our destiny up to Brahma? And Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Jiva Puramaye Dev Dev Pahe. That the one who ordains, that is what happens. That is the way. Deva Deva Pahe. So whatever he writes, that's what happens to us. Now Maharaj goes on, they say, Jeta Kita, Teta Nao, Vinanave, Nahiko Tao. So everything in existence is just from Nam. Okay? And nothing is without Nam. All the places, everything we experience is supported by Nam. Maharaj says, Ayo Sunan Paranako Bani. That we've actually come as mortals to listen and read Gurbani. Literally, Maharaj is telling us straight. So, if Nam supports everything, then that means we've got to take the support of Nam, right? We've got to take the support of Nam. So can I have a show of hands? I'm not going to ask anyone, but who here has gone through something really difficult and thought, okay, let me do some Bhat, or let me listen to some Kirtan. Can I just have a show of hands quickly? Oh, brilliant. Okay, quite a few of you. Brilliant. Okay, for those of you with your hands down like me, definitely try it, because Maharaj is saying here, that's what we've come to do. We've come to connect with this Nam because it supports everything. If we don't connect with that Nam, then how are we going to connect with our Guru? We can't connect even to the one. It all starts from Nam. Okay, so Maharaj finishes off here by saying, Kudarata Kavana Kaha Vichar. So how can I contemplate, how can I do vichar on your power? How can I know you, WhyGuru? So it links back to Asankanava, Asankatav. Maharaj says that all your names are countless. All the places that you've made is countless. So how can we contemplate them, right? They say, Varya na java ekavar. I can't even explain one of your hairs. Imagine how many hairs we've got on our body. Even the tiniest hair, Guru Nanak Dev Ji saying, I can't even explain that of WhyGuru. And it links back to what we spoke about with the universes, when we said agam is unknowable. Agam, asankha law. And Maharaj says, Jota tapave sai palikar. That whatever you wish, that's what I accept. Right? Again, this links back to Jivat Puramai, Deva Devbai. Whatever you write, whatever that architect writes for us, that's what we accept. And then they finish off by saying, Tu sada salamata nirankar. That you are forever salamat, you're forever the same. So this links all the way back to the Mool Mantar, to Ik Oankar. So if you remember, we spoke about the Ik, that's the only thing that's the same. Everything else is changing. Everything. The universe, us, this world. But the only thing that's constant is that one. Tu sada salamata nirankar. So we've come to the end. I've kind of rattled through that. Didn't expect it to be that quick. So just a quick recap. We spoke about the nameless one. Okay, so how the one has all of these names but has no name. The unknowable, all right, agam, asankalo, we literally cannot know them. The importance of just letters, the destiny of the one, how they have no destiny, how Nam supports everything. So we're going to wrap it up there, and normally at this stage, we go to the Sangat and say, has anyone got any questions or vichar that they want to share or ask? But today we're going to mix it up. I'm actually going to ask you guys a question, just to get your thoughts on something. So we're going to go all the way back. Where are we? Let's go through. Almost there, guys. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay. So in Japji Sahib, this is my question to you guys. In Japji Sahib, Guru Gobind Singh Ji says, Karam Naam. That someone who is wise would describe your Karam Naam. Right? The things that you do. But also Guru Gobind Singh Ji calls the one a Karamang. So they say, I'm going to describe your Karam Naam, but then they also say that you are a Karamang. That you have no deeds, you have no good or bad deeds. Does anyone want to have a guess as to why that is? What's the difference between a Karam Naam and to be a Karamang? Anyone want to have a go? Gagan Singh, get ready, bro. We're coming to you. Get thinking, come on. Anyone? Daman Singh, any ideas, bro? Alright, go on then, Gagan Singh. Put us out of our misery, bro.
WhyGuru. I'm not really sure, Singh, to be honest.
Okay. Has anyone got any ideas? Oh, that's quite a good question. Okay, cool. So, just in basic terms, going the wrong way. For the one to have Garam Naam, they are doing everything, right? So they are Garam Naam, they are doing everything. But what they do is not subject to a good or bad category. So everything that we do, we are in Garams, right? So we do, and what we do is judged. Garmi up or uppani. But the one, they do, but they're not judged. Does that make sense? Neji. Okay. I've got a few shaking heads. Do you want to expand on that, kind of what you're saying? No, Okay, guys. All right, we're going to wrap up there, unless anyone's got any questions or any vichar of their own.
WhyGuru.
Hanji.
Yeah, so WhyGuru. So what you were talking about, how you have bad and good karma.
Yeah.
So for us, something might seem bad. So how we have suffering in the world. Some people might think, how can God let something like this happen? And we might, because obviously Guru Sahib is the creator, sustainer and destroyer. So all the bad stuff that happens, you could say it's Guru Sahib, in a way it's God's bad deeds. But then that stuff needs to happen for the world to carry on. And everything is in Guru Sahib's hukum. So it's just the order of the world. And so if we think about it like that, there's no good or bad deeds because Guru Sahib is all hukum, basically. So Guru Sahib doesn't have karma. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would go with that. So Guru Sahib doesn't have garam. So I think I got what you're saying there, that they're doing everything, right? So they judge us for what we do. So we are stuck in the good or bad label. But no one can judge the judge. So everything they do is good. And I think the point you were making there was sometimes we don't understand it, right? When things happen to us externally, we think it's bad, but we don't actually understand it. We're trying to apply our labels to everything else. So, it's all right, bro. We won't pass you back the mic. That was painful. Okay, anyone else before we wrap up? God, that's record time. Hanji Karanveer Singh.
Just a question that's come up before, and you guys said you'd answer it this week. If everything is written, then what about free will? All of destiny, you said, is written by the ever-flowing pen.
No, I've got no problem with the question, but the intro, has that really come up before? And was it said that we were going to talk about it this week?
I think so, it was, wasn't it? It's always put to the next week, no? Daman Singh's very confident, yeah.
I think Bibi Simran Kaur has actually gone through this. I think she went through it with regards to what is free will and what is not free will. Is that what you're referring to here? As in if it's written... if I remember correctly, so Benji talked us through, it depends on our stage. So the highest stage of spirituality we can get to is that the one is doing everything. Everything that's happening is the one. Whether it's in the future or whether it's now, whether it changes, they are beyond that time frame. So when we talk about destiny, they're outside of that. But we have to be at a very high level. We have to literally have merged with the one in order to see that it's just the one doing everything. But until we're there, we are in our actions and our destiny. Does that make sense? It's a very deep topic. Maybe Baisal can maybe clarify. I'm not sure if that answer was good or not. Is that all right, bro? Anji. Okay, guys. We'll wrap up there. Baisal, do you want to take over, crack some jokes? Okay, guys, before I hand over, just quickly to say thank you for listening. Thank you for coming every week. And please forgive me for all the mistakes I made. Let's finish off with the Fateh Ji. WhyGuru Ji ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji ki Fateh.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for the presentation. Got a read with a cheeky question. Read the T2000 over there. You know, Terminator 2. So shocking. I was like, why does he keep saying WhyGuru when he's going for the mic? It's like a robotic WhyGuru. We answered your question like on that week of Hukum with all that stuff in it. So, Hanji, whatever VG said was pretty much the answer that you give. Just to add to that, when he said that the highest level, WhyGuru is doing everything, that's the second level. The highest level is that there's only one. So it's not they're doing it. Because if we say in the highest level they're doing it, we still feel like we are separate from God. At the highest level, there's only ik. So there is not them doing it. There's not an us doing it. There's only one, right? And when it comes to God's ever-flowing pen, was that this week? Was that no? It wasn't this week. That's another week. So you can't even ask that question here because it doesn't even come up as well. But Hanji, if you got any questions though, please do ask going forward. But it seems like Guru Kirpa, they're doing a great job, all the speakers, because nobody has any questions. You guys just coming, enjoying it and stuff. So we're finish off some Kirtan. Could have an early night today. Early night, get home, get to sleep, have a good time. So Hama Benti, whoever's doing the Kirtan, remember you doing Kirtan? Go on, smash it out. Go on then. And let's just do, what time is it? It's nearly 8 o'clock. So let's do, nice. It's up to them guys, right? And then we'll do smart afterwards. Please don't just run away. Just try and stay for at least 5 minutes. I promise you it'll be beautiful. It's beautiful every week. And sometimes I'll sit and I think, oh, people are leaving, but they're not, they're not getting that anand. And I'll even say, I know it's really hot, but if you don't mind and you want to, even just come a bit forward as well. Right? Come forward and just let's all vibrate together on the Kirtan. And then that's it. Finish off. Thank you guys. WhyGuru Ji ka Khalsa. WhyGuru Ji ki Fateh.